Hello, how are you all doing? Secret Film Teacher here. If you've seen this channel before, you know exactly what this is all about. If you haven't, I'm a film teacher. I'm trying to keep my identity a secret away from my students, really. And we just talk about Blu-rays, DVDs, all film-related stuff, really, on this channel. Either things going into my personal collection or things that I'm buying specifically for film studies. Either or, and we kind of get that difference between the two, which is quite nice to have sometimes. Quite nice to buy things not with the idea of having them in your own personal collection. So I've had a quick buy here. It's just a little bit of a bundle. I just thought I'd quickly go through it, not spend too much time on it, because there's nothing too rare in here. Well, nothing rare at all, really. Just a nice little pickup. So it's all to do with the Re-Animator, as you can see. And I just thought I'd quickly go through the three aspects of it. Okay, so the first is Beyond Re-Animator. So I believe this is the third in the series. I've never seen this film. I've seen the first two. I've never watched the third one. I've heard mixed things about it. Some people like it, some people hate it. Seems a bit like Marmite. But I'll reserve judgment until I've seen it, like I always do. So as you can tell by the size of the case, this is a DVD. I wouldn't have gone out of my way to buy this. It's just that it came in the bundle. I saw it as a little bit of a bonus. I'm not sure if Beyond Re-Animator is on Blu-ray or not. I would imagine that it is. So if I was going to buy it full time, I probably would look at the Blu-ray rather than the DVD. But in terms of a bonus in a deal, it can't be any worse, really. I've never seen it. I'll check it out. If I like it, I'll probably sell this one on and get the Blu-ray to put into my collection. If not, I'll just sell this on probably. This has a resale value of about £8 to £10, I think. Not massive money at all, but I can recoup a little bit of the money I've spent on this bundle. So this whole bundle cost me £23. So it's not mega money at all. It was on bids, so I kind of saw it. It caught my eye a little bit. As we are all in lockdown, I'm buying for the sake of buying at the moment because there's nothing else to do. I've definitely got the buying itch right now. So I've kind of, over the last couple of weeks, bought quite a lot of stuff, really. And I need to calm down with it. But this just came up and I thought, no, I've got to buy this. It's a bit of a shame that this is an 18 rating. What I tend to do with DVDs that I buy, because of the kind of technical limitations in school, we can't show any Blu-rays. I can't show any Blu-rays to the students at the moment. So I have to look for DVD versions of things that I want to show them. So when I pick up slightly obscure things like this that they've probably never heard of, they have to be 15 or below. We can show them 18, but they have to go down the parental permission route, and there's a lot of pitfalls in that route, and I really don't want to get into that. So unfortunately, this can't just go into the film studies collection, and it's probably not going to stay in my collection much for long either. I'll give it a watch, see what it's like. And then, as I said, if I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. If I do like it, I'll probably trade it out for the Blu-ray. But that's the way. There seems to be some quite good special features on this, actually. There's a 50-minute making-of documentary, and there is a nice little booklet with a little bit of information in there, actually, which I always like. That always adds a little bit of prestige to these releases. Standard Arrow video fare, reversible cover, but this is the nicer side. So this is made by the Dude Designs, who I've never heard of, but that's a really good front cover. I really like that. But yeah, there isn't really much else to say about this. It's one I've not seen, so I can't talk about the film much, and I am keen to check it out, so I'll probably be watching it this weekend, actually. Second is the Re-Animator. Well, Re-Animator, I should say, not the Re-Animator. So this is the original, the Stuart Gordon directed Re-Animator. All of these kind of being adapted from H.P. Lovecraft stories. I mean, they're kind of bastardizations of them, really. They're not, especially as you get towards Beyond Re-Animator, and I'm sure Bride of Re-Animator is not quite a H.P. Lovecraft story either. But certainly that's where they come from. I've been after this steelbook for a little while, not too long. I'm not going to say that because it's not rare or anything. I just never really felt justified in paying the £35-ish that these go for new. So this is a second-hand one. This is open, and I think it's missing a booklet as well. I'm sure it's got to have a booklet with it, so I'll have to try and track that down because I like complete releases. But in terms of steelbook, it's got some really nice artwork on it. It's almost like a a Dario Argento kind of fever dream scene, this, with the colours, the splashes of colours. I absolutely love that front cover. So this is the second sight version. It's one of those flimsier steelbooks, and I don't tend to go for steelbooks that much anymore. About 6 or 7 years ago, I did collect steelbooks quite heavily, actually. And then Zavvi, who I don't even think are around anymore, started doing lots of UK exclusive steelbooks for different films. So just re-releasing as many films as they could do as steelbooks, and that really took the kind of enjoyment of steelbooks, of collecting steelbooks, out for me, really, because the market was just saturated with them, and yeah, they didn't seem to have much value anymore. Now there are a few that do have value. So I've got a few Mondo steelbooks. I've got a few Future Shop steelbooks in my collection. They have a little bit more value. They're a little bit more rare. They're a little bit better made than this, really. They're a little bit stronger. But in terms of this, I really like the artwork. It's going to look nice sitting down on the shelf with everything. I really like the angular variations of the steelbooks, really, compared to a normal Blu-ray. There's so much. Got so much more presence on a shelf. I really do like the way they look when they sit together. I thought this at first was a Blu-ray and a DVD, but unfortunately it's not. It's two Blu-rays. So you have the unrated version, and then you have what they call the integral version. Now the integral version, I don't know what that constitutes in terms of whether that was the release I've seen 5 or 6 years ago, whether I watched the unrated version, I really don't know. But it's nice to have two versions on there to see the differences. Just unfortunately it doesn't have a DVD, so I can't show my students this either, which would have been a nice little obscure gem for their horror topic, really, because we're looking at horror at the moment, and I like to show them things that you have what you have on the curriculum, and I like to show them things off the curriculum and get as kind of obscure as I possibly can. And this would have been a good one, because I don't think any of them would have heard of this, let alone seen it. So unfortunately, it's two Blu-rays, but I'll look at probably buying the DVD from it. Although, actually, saying that, it's an 18, isn't it? So no, that's not going to work either. So I'll have to stay away from this, basically, and keep the search going for all these obscure horror films that they can watch. But it's a really nice release. There's a couple of little scratches on the back. So as I said, this whole thing was just over £20, £23, and this pre-owned goes for about £20-ish. So really, it was quite a good deal, and that's why I was interested in it. But really good film. Keen to check it out again after a few years out, and really happy with that, with the condition of that. Finally, even though I've gone in such a weird order here, I've just realised I've gone 3, 1, and now 2. So I'm ending on 2, which is weird. But Bride of Re-Animator. So this is the second in the series. Unfortunately, Stuart Gordon, who directed the first one, didn't come back to direct the second one. So it's directed by Brian Usner instead. His credits on this are Society and Return of the Living Dead 3, which isn't possibly the greatest credit you've ever had as a director going into a film, but I remember this being quite good. Now, there's a similar time frame to the Re-Animator that I've seen this. Must be 5 or 6 years since I've seen this, so I can't remember it all. I remember it being a fairly good horror film when I saw it last. The little strange one about this is that it's got 15 rating, and then you look at both discs and they're both marketed as 18 there, because they're both the unrated versions. So I need to find out if this actually has the 15 rated version on it, which I can't seem to see on the back. It just seems to say on restoration of the unrated version, which is a shame, because there's a DVD in this. This is one of those dual releases, and I was hoping to show my film studies class this because it was a 15, but it seems to be the unrated 18 version, so I don't think that's going to work either. In terms of the release, typical Arrow release. It's got the reversible sleeve, it's got the booklet, it's got the discs, and it's got quite a few special features on it too. So it has audio commentary with Usner and a lot of other people on that audio commentary, actually. Brand new featurette in which the director looks back at making the sequel. So it has a lot to it, which I really like about Arrow Video, actually. They really put out some good, strong releases. And their releases now are starting to become a lot more collectible. In the last 3 or 4 years, it seems that a lot of these are going over to America. Collectors over in America are buying these. So actually a lot of the Arrow stuff, especially the what we call the window releases, where you have a slipcover and then you have the kind of window to see the release underneath, some of them are quite hard to come by now. So Day of the Dead, Obsession, the Brian De Palma film, that goes for about £100 now in that little window, release. So actually the Arrow video releases are getting rarer and rarer, and they're quite hard to get hold of, some of these. This hasn't got massive value, probably a tenner or something, but in terms of if you put the value of all of them together, you're probably going to get about 40 or 45 pound ish, and I paid 23, so that was the reason that I kind of bid on it, because you're getting quite a lot for the money. Keen to check this out again, keen to check them all out really, but certainly I've seen these two, so these can stay in the collection. I think it's just beyond Re-Animator whether that stays or not. As I said, I'm not big into keeping DVDs unless they don't have a Blu-ray version available, or I need them specifically for school. But unfortunately, beyond Re-Animator, I'm sure that's got a Blu-ray release, and it's an 18, so I can't even keep it for school. So these were just 3 pickups, really nice pickups. Really happy with them, actually, really happy with the condition of them. And for £23, can't really complain. So anyway, I will check you out next time that I've got a little bit of a haul to show you. But take care of yourselves, and I wish everyone the best. Thank you.